I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. On tap, we've got what should be a fairly intriguing matchup between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Mexico City Golden Eagles. With that, let's get down to Mexico City. Standing by for the call, here are Senor Gordon and Senor Davis.
From the oldest capital city in the Americas, founded in 1325, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to Mexico City. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Mexico City Golden Eagles. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
The final playoff push is upon us. It's Week 12 of the NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here's the first drive now for the Jags. Orchestrating the offense will be the top pick in the 2018 draft, and that's Baker Mayfield.
That was a solid performance last week, wasn't it? 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, ran the team well. Won the ball game. Bottom line, may not have been earth-shattering, but it didn't need to be.
Good. 180. It's our time. It's our time.
First carry for the Boise State Bronco, Alexander Madison. Only a couple for him there on the game's first play, and it's second down. And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Mayfield to throw it. And right away, he lost the football. It's going the other way. And he's going to bring the fumble back for a touchdown. And give some kudos to the defensive coordinator, I think, here. They bring the blitz, they dial it up, and it turns into 6 points for them.
It's so nice to hear you actually give kudos to the defense. It is so nice. You're such an offensive guy like that. I love it. He dialed things up, and boy, a big play resulted for his guys.
Well, you like the credit to the defense there, right, my friend?
Yeah, do I ever?
Will Lutz on for the point after. It's up and good, and it'll give his guys a 7-0 lead. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there. Grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
Here I come again. Here I come.
On 2nd down, this is Madison. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8. On 3rd down, Mayfield. And this is going to be incomplete. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
On 4th down, J.K. Scott ready to punt it away. Back deep, Antonio Brown. This is taken at the 18. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. At a glance at the man under center at 6'5", he always demands attention.
And what's a quarterback's best friend?
Balance?
I think you're right. I agree with you. You know, a lot of guys would say great receiver, right? A terrific offensive line. But I agree with you, balance, because if you can run the ball effectively, that just opens things up for guys who want to throw it and gives you easier passing lanes and easier coverages to read.
And they said balance will be a focus in this one.
Yeah, they don't want it all just heaped on his shoulders, I don't believe. I think they want to make sure they take some of the pressure off.
On your screen now, here are the offensive starters. At wideout, Antonio Brown is certainly someone that the defense always has to account for.
Without a doubt, a true #1 receiver. It doesn't matter to him how defenses want to cover him. He sees it as a challenge and knows how to defeat them.
Here's 2nd and 8. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down. Time for a look at our starters here on defense. There are 32 teams in the NFL, and they're just better than 50% of them at defending the pass, number 16 in the league.
And when you're getting ready to face the #1 overall offense in the NFL, it does not matter where you rank defensively because you got your hands full. You don't know what you're going to face, but you know that that's a strong unit that you're getting ready for.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Gets it to Benjamin. It's caught. Well, he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Touchdown. Kelvin Benjamin with touchdown number 12 on the year. And his guys are going to add on to their lead. I'll let you do the analysis, partner, but with every touchdown pass this young quarterback throws and with the success that his team has had, I just continue to be more and more impressed.
Let's both do the analysis. Impressed. Aren't we both?
Yeah.
I mean, why shouldn't we be? We've seen him improve throughout the year. We've seen him settle in now, and you can see the confidence of the team has grown. His confidence has grown. I think that everyone around this guy feels good about what they've seen, and it's also safe for him when he's driving home to turn on Sports Talk Radio. He's okay.
Lutz to try to add the PAT. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board.
How about that, partner? That happened in a hurry. Sudden, explosive, gets into the backfield, and spills the play.
And he was AFC Defensive Player of the Week last week because of plays just like that. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12.
Watch the run, watch the run.
Running from the shotgun with Madison. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
They'll run with Madison, and he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. A nice job defensively, and it likely forces a punt situation on 4th.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Here's J.K. Scott now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. With it is Brown. 12 yards on the return that time. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. So here's the home side to take over on offense. They've got things going their way early. 14-0 lead and the football. 1st and 10. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Off the play fake. Mendoza. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
That's complete. It's Kyle Juszczyk. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. 22 yards there, a 1st down. So again from the 39, this time from the other side of the field. Here's 1st and 10. They'll run with McCaffrey. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down. The numbers for McCaffrey last week, just downright unbelievable. I mean, when you amass that many yards, I don't know what else to say.
Personally, I thought it was a game for the ages for him. Ripped off some long runs in that contest, didn't he?
He did indeed. Some very long runs, and that total, scary.
Hey, let's get in them holes.
On 2nd down, McCaffrey. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. A gain of 13. It's a 1st down. And after his performance last week, everybody saw it. Unbelievable. You can expect a heavy dose of him again, I think.
Without a doubt. I mean, why wouldn't you? Because once you establish yourself that way, it's not just him, okay? It's his offensive line, it's the tight end, it's your wide receivers, everyone now sharing in the load and sharing in the belief that if they do their job, they'll see another performance just like they saw the week before.
Set, ready? 90, Wolf. Check 56. Watch the run, watch the run. Speed trip.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And it's caught. And he will take it in for the touchdown. From 17 yards out. And his guys find a way to stretch that lead. Boy, these guys are off to the races, Charles. 20-0 already, extra point pending.
Yeah, you always hear that term. They just boat race someone. Heck, it's car race, motorcycle race, plane race, whatever you want. Right now, they are sprinting past them.
Lutz will look to add the extra point. It's good, and before you know it, it's 21-0. So that drive spanned 5 plays. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. That'll be taken in the end zone. Well, some might have returned that one. He won't. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start the drive from the 25. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3 and out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Here's Madison. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. A 2nd down play results in a loss of 2 yards. Looking a little bit like a continuation of last week. He had 3 tackles for a loss, and now 1 more here in the first quarter of this game.
And there's been no lack of force by him, taking on the offensive linemen, playing them, but also there's a suddenness to his game. They have that initial contact, and then he's gone, moving upfield and making those plays in the backfield.
It's a big body moving upfield, too. Mayfield from the gun on 3rd down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Credit the sack to Von Miller.
So if we recount real quick, he had the touchdown earlier, and now he comes up with the sack here. No doubt about it, he's having himself a game.
Here's J.K. Scott now, standing right on his own 5-yard line. And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. Now Brown. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Out comes Christian McCaffrey with the rest of the offense. Last week, over 100 yards, 3 touchdowns. We were talking with him on the field before the game. He said simply, I was in a groove. He obviously was.
And I think he's being a little modest about that, being in a groove. That's a big-time game right there. And I think he feels like his entire team is coming along with him because they're creating spaces and holes for him to run through. He's making people miss, running through tackles. They are locked in a big way and confident about this game as well. There are so many things to watch for when you play defense, and reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? And it sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. McCaffrey. And a 5-yard gain as he's down inside the 30 to the 28-yard line.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down, a very solid gain on that play.
Mendoza now to throw on second down. Completes it to Benjamin. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 50 catches for him now on the year, and he's got a first down. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
Base. 56. Here we go. Let's go.
On first down, this is McCaffrey. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. And the tackle there by Quan Alexander. The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. 2nd and 5. He's got it. And he will take this one in for a touchdown. Kelvin Benjamin with his 13th touchdown of the year and 2nd of the game. And his guys are going to add on to their lead. Now, first quarter, and this lead is already getting into dangerous territory. They better be careful on the other sideline.
Yeah, it feels a little bit more like a basketball game where one team is pressing and that team can't get the ball over half court. I mean, it is stealing it and scoring it, layups, the whole deal. That's what it feels like right now. They are all over them.
Lutz to try to add the PAT. It's good, and they stretch their lead to 28-0 now. 5 plays there on that drive. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. Typically down in the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive, but they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah, normally, you know me. I mean, you've been around me for a while now, right?
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry about that. But normally, I'm the one preaching patience.
Yeah.
You know, take your time. First half, you still got a chance. I think they're out of patience here. This has to be a drive that gets a touchdown. So if you're the play caller, you're going to that portion of the sheet that says big-time plays, specials, anything you can use to get you some
pressure from his right, and he goes down hard, flat on his back. Cameron Hayward able to record his 5th sack of the season.
That's 3 sacks now, and that's not much of a surprise to me, nor should it be to you. This team, they lead the league in sacks.
Yeah, they do. This is something that we are starting to witness time and time again. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack.
You remember me? Let's go.
Mayfield. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Mayfield off the play fake. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
Here's J.K. Scott now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. Fielded just inside the 20. A very good return that time. 18 yards. So here's the home side to take over on offense. And the ledger for them so far looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Not sure it can be much better than that. They've got to feel very good about the groove that they're in at this stage of the game.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They start on the ground with McCaffrey. Busts through the tackle. And he'll go out of bounds, it looks like, right at the 40. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
They did a really nice job there defensively. They strung the play out, didn't give him a cutback lane. On each play, you have guys what I call our BCR players. Guys are responsible for the bootleg, for the cutback, and for the reverse. They played that one perfectly.
And rode him right out of bounds. That one, a 1st down pickup of 8. Getting the sense Charles are going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
And here's Mendoza on 1st down. And Kelvin Benjamin's got it. And all the way in for the touchdown. Kelvin Benjamin doing it again with his 3rd touchdown here in the opening quarter as his guys continue to pour it on.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strikeability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
Lutz will look to add the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. The drive there only spanning 3 plays. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
The run on 1st down gets him a couple up to the 27. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. Now this will probably be the last play of the quarter. An entertaining start to this one. More to come on EA Sports. They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Mayfield now. Looking downfield for Joe. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. And they will set up shop at their own 46-yard line. The struggles continue here offensively. Still nothing for them on the scoreboard, and now an interception.
Yeah, the offense looks extremely sluggish, not really in sync at all. Dare I say, it looks like it got left behind in customs.
Oh, you've had that in your back pocket. You were waiting for that.
Probably should have left it in my back pocket, too.
Well played. Out comes Christian McCaffrey with the rest of the offense. He's over 40 yards here in the second quarter. Been nice and effective for them, hasn't he?
He has definitely been dependable, and really shouldn't underestimate what he's getting done here, because anytime you're on a pace that's going to approach 100 yards, You've really done some damage in an NFL game.
And now he's looking just to add to his totals. Good starting field position for him as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 46. The drive begins with a run by McCaffrey. And he works his way forward for about 4 up to the midfield stripe.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
Right there, 56. Record.
That's a jet sweep into the hands of Edelman. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. 27 yards there, a 1st down.
This is one of those plays that has an equal chance of either being a big gain or a big loss, but with the college influence, we're seeing more of these plays come into the NFL.
Come on, set. 18, Gator. Hey, watch the ball. Speed grip.
Now Mendoza on 1st and 10. Slant route caught by Edelman. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. That catch, by the way, number 542 in his NFL career. That draws him level with Lance Allworth, who was a Hall of Famer with the Chargers back in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, the man they called Bambi. So if you're in that type of territory, catch the same number of passes he caught, you know you're on your way to a big-time career. And just think, he's not through yet.
Able to get 7 on that 1st down pass play. 2nd and 3. On the draw, this will be Freeman. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. 7 yards on the pickup there, and now they'll have it 1st and goal.
Ready.
Back to throw. Mendoza. That's complete right around the 8. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. That's good for a gain of 6. 2nd and goal.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync.
And he is into the end zone for a touchdown. Christian McCaffrey with touchdown number 29, too short of LaDainian Tomlinson's all-time record 31, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. And Charles, when you catch that toss going right or left, really, but right in this instance, do you go straight for the pylon? Is that where you're going?
Well, typically you want to try and maneuver people a little bit so you have some space to get to the pylon. So I want to make sure I try and move them a little bit to the inside, and in this case to the left, so I can get to the right side and get to that pylon and wink at it as I go by.
Lutz to try to add the PAT. And the route is on here in this 1st half. So the drive there took 6 plays. And the last play on the drive, the touchdown run from Christian McCaffrey. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Baker Mayfield leads the offense out for their next possession. In 2nd quarter, they're down big already. He's struggling as well. They've got to find something here. He's got to find something on this drive.
And sometimes you take on all that extra pressure on yourself, and maybe you have to disperse it a little bit. Lean on some other people, lean on your teammates, find someone who can take the pressure off and get the ball in their hands for a while.
Or this, if he doesn't, this is getting out of hand, or it could get worse. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, that didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
What's that?
They'll run it with Madison. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that'll make it 3rd and 13.
Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, because they bring in your tight end, keep him in. Your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance.
Here's Mayfield. He's going to float this one deep right side. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. A big 3rd down play there for the Jags. 42 yards. For an offense that has not found the end zone yet, that's a big play.
There's the spark right there. The big play that they needed. Now they've got to go ahead and finish this drive and put this ball in the end zone.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Here's Madison running on 1st down. And boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
And he'll be upended at the 33 following a gain of 3. And guess what? It brings up 3rd down. The Jaguars on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 6. Mayfield looks to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
And they're picking up right where they left off with the shutout that they pitched last week. A huge part of that, this pass rush. They know how to get after people.
Offensively, good luck finding some answers right now. Now Justin Tucker. He has hit from 61 in his career, so he has the leg for this. This will be spotted just shy of midfield. A 59-yard attempt. Online, but off the crossbar, no good. A long-range effort denied 3 points at the very end. All things considered, a pretty good kick, just cruel punishment there to be denied by the crossbar.
If you're going to hit from that distance, sometimes you're going to need a little luck, and unfortunately for him, this time the break goes against him.
And back onto the field now comes Devontae Freeman. A good job in the passing game, decent job in the running game, but really they've been more effective through the air. We'll see if that shifts at all as this goes on.
Thus far, it feels like they're calling this game in reverse. Normally you run to set up the pass. Here it feels like they're passing, hoping to set up the run and be more effective later on in the game.
Yeah, you can do it both ways. We usually talk about it in the reverse, however.
No doubt about it.
And he's going to take this across midfield into Jacksonville territory. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Now a toss. This is McCaffrey. 3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting 3rd and about 4 to go.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
Benjamin's got it. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a 1st down. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. On the ground, McCaffrey. Oh, an absolutely filthy juke. He's got some space now. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Watch 57. Check.
Back to the ground, this time with Freeman. And he'll be dropped at the 23 after a pickup of about 4.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down, a very solid gain on that play.
2nd and 6. And this is incomplete.
He kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
Looking to throw. Mendoza. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. And with that completion, he's now north of 200 yards here in the first half. Boy, a tough start for the secondary defensively.
It is, and it's got to put a dent in their confidence. And, you know, you always want to keep that up and feel like you can always bounce back after plays. But with the kind of numbers he's putting up here, it's starting to wear on them a little bit, I think. So they're looking at each other and trying to figure out what defense will work and how can they play better without getting beat deep for big passes.
A pickup of 4 on 1st down. It'll be 2nd and goal. 2nd and goal from inside the 5. Again, McCaffrey. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll make it 3rd and goal.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. And this is caught. It's Edelman. And he gets into the end zone for the touchdown. Julian Edelman hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season as his guys continue to pour it on.
Brandon, remind me again, this is a rookie quarterback we're seeing?
A rookie indeed.
I mean, because my eyes are telling me something I'm having trouble believing. 5 touchdown passes. He's thrown 5 in this game. Are you kidding me?
Lutz will look to add the extra point. And the route is on here in this first half. A 10-play drive that time. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And let's shift our attention to Will Fuller. You better believe that he's well aware he has 0 catches right now, and they're losing, so he's probably a little hungry.
And you know the guys on defense are aware as well, and they're really excited that he has no catches, but they're also worried because a lot of times that's like the ticking time bomb. The longer you hold him down, when he finally explodes, look out.
Yeah, no catches, though, so far in this game. Mayfield on first down. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. Second down.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
Now a quick throw as that's complete on the hitch route. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27. Now Mayfield.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Now this throw caught left side. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their first timeout as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Going to the air again with Mayfield. Looking for his running back, and he's got him. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
That play was well covered. Just tried to check it down. Unfortunately, we're not able to find any yardage on that one.
That pass play wound up for negative yardage, so here's 2nd and 11. And again, it's Mayfield. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. Now the Jags will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. They missed a field goal on their last drive. Here they need something to even get into field goal range on 3rd down. Mayfield with it once more. Now Mayfield lost the football.
You better be ready next time.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. This from 54 yards away. And he's gonna miss this one. Wide to the left from distance. It's no good, and this score will stay right where it is. Now listen, now no kick from 50-plus is a gimme, but here you're indoors in a dome. You'd think ideal conditions.
Yeah, and it's one that he would expect himself to make, not just us expecting him to make it. Over the years, my theory is very simple. The athletic ability of kickers continues to get better and better. Check their backgrounds. They were all county, all state, at other positions, not just soccer players. These guys expect themselves to be great as well.
And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. So we've reached halftime here in what is quickly turning into quite a rout as we send you up to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Things starting to get interesting in this final weekend before Thanksgiving. So let's see what's going on around the NFL. We'll get started over at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in downtown Atlanta. And it's the Falcons who are out in front in the 2nd quarter. 2 touchdown passes for Kirk Cousins there. From there, let's head up to Cincinnati to check in on the Bengals at home at Paul Brown Stadium. And they have the lead in that one over the visiting Raiders. T.Y. Hilton, a touchdown reception. Lastly, let's get you to Charlotte, North Carolina. Check on the Panthers at home at Bank of America Stadium. And they have the lead in that one over the visiting Chiefs. Kyler Murray, 4 touchdown passes. Meanwhile, our game has been a boat race. Very one-sided to this point. And for the call of the 2nd half, let's get it back to our commentating team of Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is fielded at the goal line. And he breaks it all the way out to the 38-yard line. Great return. So here is the home side to take over on offense. They had a big first half. Now they have a chance to add to that lead here in the opening possession of the 2nd half.
And everyone always asks about halftime adjustments, kind of the key phrase. What did you do at halftime? Well, the way they ran offense in the first half, I think they were very calm, congratulatory, but also what they were saying is don't expect them to be the same on defense. They'll be the ones making the adjustments. Let's see what they do, and we'll attack accordingly.
And we'll see how they attack here.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
I'm here all day.
Again, they run. Again, it's McCaffrey. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Give them 14 on that one and a first down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. So the 14 yards actually takes them from 143 to the other for 1st and 10. For even a first down and more. And down to the 27-yard line. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral, also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
And down inside the 15 he goes. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
Set, ready? 15, Lonnie. 15 line.
It's coming this way, coming this way.
Right on.
This is McCaffrey. And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Back to throw. Mendoza. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Quan Alexander. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. He's had a fantastic rookie season, made a lot of lovely throws, but that wasn't one of them.
Well, we got to give him one, don't we? I mean, with the year he's having, a lot easier for he and his teammates to accept that throw because for the most part, what they've seen, it's been pretty sensational.
A run on first down, but it's not going to get him much, maybe a yard, and that's all. Cameron Hayward in on the tackle.
Brings up 2nd and 9.
They stay on the ground. Ivory again. And he will double the space they have to work with as they take it from the 2 to the 4.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Now a carry for the fullback. This is Watt. And a short gain here as he gets it up only to about the 6.
I'm not sure how much I really love that call. It almost seems like a little bit of a give up there. But maybe what they were thinking is we've got a chance to pop one. They think we're just going to give up here, hand it to the big man, and maybe he can get through. Sometimes there's a little bit of courage in play calling, and maybe we don't give enough credit.
Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. Out comes Christian McCaffrey with the rest of the offense. He's up over 100 yards, and he'll be looking to get in the end zone again.
Has a tremendous nose for it, doesn't he? The ability to pile up yardage and find the end zone, that's the combination you want in your runner.
Yeah, it's a combination any coach wants, and we'll see if he can find that end zone once more. So 2nd down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43. Now a pass here caught by Edelman. And he's into the end zone for the receiving touchdown. Julian Edelman with touchdown number 2 in the game and now 11 on the year as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Solid response that time by a young quarterback. Last drive interception, this drive the touchdown pass.
I like how you described it, solid, because you don't get extra kudos for bouncing back if you're going to be a big-time quarterback. You're supposed to do that. But at the same time, when you're a rookie, that's not guaranteed, is it? Sometimes they hang their heads and they go in the tank a little bit. Not in this case. Bounce back, took his team downfield, and threw a touchdown pass.
Lutz good on the extra point, and that will extend this big lead. The long touchdown pass gets them 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. The Jaguars offense now heads back onto they haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
They'll start on the ground with Madison, and they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play, and that'll make it 2nd and 12.
I think Cameron Hayward's ability to take on blocks, hold the point of attack, and get upfield serves him very, very well. What a nice play there.
Yeah, he can take on blocks because he's built like a block. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. From the gun, Mayfield. This complete to Jones. And they're able to get this one across the 35. That one a pickup of 15 for Jacksonville. A bit of a catch for him to remember. That's number 400 for his NFL career. Not a bad number at all. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Going on the ground with Madison. And he's going to be stopped up quickly here. Just a yard up to the 39.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Let's go. Let's calm the crowd. 3 buzz.
On 2nd and 9, Mayfield, and that'll be incomplete. Will Fuller was the intended target, and that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. They go play action. Mayfield. And that will be incomplete. Another drive comes and goes. Still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. But you just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. So here is the home side to take over on offense. And last time out, another touchdown. And I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the 4th quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because this one's just about decided. But you know who benefits from all those empty seats? You and me, trying to get to the airport.
That's
the roads
true.
will be fairly clear by the time we have to leave the booth.
A good run got 7 on 1st. Here's 2nd and 3. They stay on the ground. McCaffrey again. He'll have a 1st down past the 40. The Red Sea parts, and there he goes. And touchdown. Christian McCaffrey becoming just the 2nd player with 30 touchdowns in a single year as his guys continue to pour it on. He's been having a great game, and that one right there, his best run so far, and it ends with 6 points.
And not only that, in his mind, what is he thinking? Can I get to 200 yards as well? Because he knows he's closing in on it. He may not know the exact number, but the best runners have a feel of what the yardage is that they're compiling, and he knows that he's getting close to that 200-yard mark now.
Lutz with the extra point, and the lead will swell by 1 more. The quick strike ability certainly intact there. 2 plays, 80 yards to score it. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. They are right now just ice cold. I mean, they have struggled big time in this game, and they're getting blown out. How do they adjust?
So tough because we always talk about it being a team game, and you need all 11 working well together. But every now and then, partner, you need that one guy who can make a play against all odds that maybe can ignite things. And I think that's what they're looking for right now.
Yeah, you talk about going to your playmakers. They probably need to do it.
Find someone that you're...
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Now remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but the ball's in the air. They treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
Lutz to try to add the PAT. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here comes the Jaguars offense as they get set here. And they just had that pick six. I guess the only positive maybe of them returning that for a touchdown. This offense right back out onto the field to try to make up for it.
I like that because now it doesn't give them a chance to go to the bench and really settle. You know, to sit there and kind of seethe over the idea that they turned the ball over previously. Right back out there. It's almost like hopping right back on the bike after falling over. See if they can get the ball moving again.
Yeah, we'll see if they can do it here. The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. And now a throw here secured by his running back out of the backfield. Call it a gain of 3, and they're going to have a 3rd down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Mayfield on play action. Looking downfield for Jones. And almost intercepted. That would have been his 3rd pick in this game alone. Instead, 4th down.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on 3rd down.
Here's J.K. Scott now. He's been terrific so far. This is brought in at the 21. So a change of possession here on the punt. So here is the home side to take over on offense. They had to go a long way on their last drive to score the touchdown. This time they get at least a little bit more of a cushion with field position.
I have to think that with this field position, after what they did on the last drive, they might want to take a shot right now and try and cut down the length of the drive.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Hey, let's get some penetration here.
Looking to throw. Mendoza looking for Edelman, and he hits him. It's complete. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards. This quarterback now over 300 yards now for the game, and time to improve on that as he's got a 1st and 10. Now a run with McCaffrey. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. 8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. To throw is Mendoza. Ball play action. He's got a man complete. It's Julian Edelman. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
Well, that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
This quarterback now, 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. Here's McCaffrey. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. 10 more there and another 1st down.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
They come out here in the eye.
Check, 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 check. Check, check, check.
They go play action here on 1st down. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
This is caught. And he takes this down to about the 2 before going out of bounds. Only 3 yards there on the completion. That'll lead to a 3rd and goal.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Boy, no chance as he was met and dropped behind the line there.
Brandon, at some point, these defenders absolutely have to say, we've just got to make a stand. We've had enough of this.
Given up a lot of points in this game, but looked better on that play. Back to throw. Mendoza. And this is caught. For the moment, it's a touchdown, but multiple flags down, so let's sort this out. So they will accept the penalty and move forward.
Here we go. Set. 180. 51. Watch the slats. Watch the slat.
Back near his goal line. Here's Mayfield. And lucky to get away with one there. That one nearly picked. 2nd down.
He's got to be kicking himself right there. His team's already picked off 2 passes. That would have been the 3rd in the game. And, boy, they've really played well attacking the football.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. The fullback Watt with a run. And he'll find a little space. He gets us up near the 10. It'll be a pickup of 5, and that leaves him with 5 more. 3rd and 5 now.
And that's why the fullback position was created. You just want a big, strong, powerful guy you can hand the ball to and pick up good yardage.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Play fake. Mayfield. And this turns into disaster. He's not going to get forward progress. That'll be a safety. And the safety there, another mistake, and these mistakes just keep piling up.
How many more can they make? They put themselves in such a massive hole now. Going to be difficult to dig out from under.
Yeah, for sure they can't afford anymore at this point. Now the free kick comes after the safety from the 20 as they bring the punter on to try and get some hang time here. This will be fielded at the 17.
Come on, baby. Let's go.
We have played 3 quarters now in Mexico City. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? Best teams we've seen so far this year, the best games that we've called thus far, how we anticipate the season unfolding. We can go in so many different directions. Because the game certainly not taking us there.
Oh, I hear the remotes clicking off right now. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. That one a gain of 20 and a first down. This quarterback now a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. They'll give it up to McCaffrey. He's brought down at the 34. Call it a gain of 4. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6.
At the Jaguars' 34-yard line.
This is McCaffrey on the give. And an alley to run. And he's in for the score. And his spectacular season continues as he ties the NFL touchdown record.
He is phenomenal.
So another score there. Often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. Lutz will look to add the extra point. Now, this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. Just a 4-play drive that time. And the last play on the drive, the touchdown run from Christian McCaffrey.
Will Lutz set to kick off.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Here comes the Jaguars offense as they get set to go again. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here. But you get points. You feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Get that quarterback at all costs.
Going to begin the drive here with Madison. And an alley to run. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. And I just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there. I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. On 2nd and 1, Mayfield is going to find his running back. It's complete. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. Mayfield now, a perfect 8 for 8 to start the second half. Not bad. 1st and 10. Mayfield to throw it. He completes it to Jones. A gain of 6 there on first. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra.
Pressure comes and down goes Baker Mayfield. Cameron Hayward make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. Julian Edelman and the rest of the offense back onto the field now. Let's see here, Charles. 6 catches, over 100 yards. Call that a pretty good day at the office.
And I love the accumulation, the catches, the yardage. That means he's having a pretty good impact on this ball game and really helping his team out in a big way.
Means he wants the football again, right?
And it's funny because some of these receivers are very vocal about how much they're getting it. Others are quieter, but they still let you know, give me the ball, I'm going to make a play.
This drive starting off on the right foot, 18 yards.
I know a lot of times we like to put players in certain boxes. He does this and he does that. But this guy, he can do a little bit of everything. He's not just a lead blocker or a guy who protects the passer. Handing the ball, he might want to get out of the way.
From all the way up at the 38 now after a good start to the drive.
Let's go, tackle, let's go, we got this.
Now a give, right side McCaffrey. He's got the first down and more past midfield. There he goes right side. And he is into the end zone, and the touchdown record is now all his. You talk about the dominating rushing performances that you and I have seen together. This has got to be right up there. His 4th touchdown run of the game and another long one to boot.
And I don't need to ask for a witness because you're right here with me. We are watching this, and we're watching such a performance that it's demoralizing for anyone on defense. You know, it starts out coaches screaming, tackle him, get him. And after that last touchdown, I'll bet it's pure silence on that side of the ball.
Lutz to try to add the PAT. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. The quick strike ability certainly intact there. 2 plays, 80 yards to score it. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut it, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. Got to give some credit there defensively. They snuffed out that screen early on 1st down.
Really read it well, didn't they? Because they didn't bring the pressure that they expected. They covered all the passing lanes. So once you see it break down as the passer, I think in this situation, you're throwing it at the feet of your back to make sure no one picks it off, or you throw it away, throw it over the sideline. Don't try and freelance and try and make a bigger play. There's really no one else running a pattern that should be open.
That pass play wound up for negative yardage, so here's 2nd and 11. Throwing, Mayfield. Anunua's got it, complete. And he's able to get up here to the 26. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down.
And it's 3rd down.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively.
Get him! Get him! Get him!
Draw play, Madison. And this effort will not get it done. He stopped well short of the first down at the 29. It'll be a gain of 4, but it won't be enough. It leaves him with a 4th down now.
We often talk of situational football. Let's just call it team football. The defense did their job, got off the field, brought up a punting situation, so they're turning the ball back over to their offense. You think those guys will get along very well right now? Of course they will. Defense helped the offense. Now it's their turn to take it downfield.
This is taken at the 18. Pushing through the contact. So possession goes over here on the punt.
Let's go.
So here's the home side to take over on offense. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I both enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones, and it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it number 1 for what we've seen this season.
That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Wide open receiver complete. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Instead of a 3rd and 1 run, they go pass and they get 12 yards out of it.
When you have someone throwing it that well, that confidently, you don't have to call the game in fear at all, do you? You just go ahead and play.
Yep, confidence with a lead to throw it here in the 4th, and boom, he's on the money.
Yeah, you don't have to tuck your head in and go like turtle at this point. You can just go ahead and play.
Now, 60 outlaw. Check 56.
They're not ready for this, man. They're not ready.
Mendoza throwing on 1st down. This is caught by Antonio Brown. And he will take it in for the touchdown. Antonio Brown with touchdown number 7 on the year as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. He has really settled in throwing the football, and that touchdown here in the 4th quarter gives him a pretty comfortable cushion.
He may be a rookie, but he's playing like 4th quarter, and the QBing is easy. How about this guy? Youngster, not worried about anything, just cutting it loose and having fun.
Lutz will look to add the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So that drive, 4 plays. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out comes the Jaguar offense now as they get set to take over. And last drive, 3 and out. Still a goose egg on the scoreboard. How do they break that goose egg?
They've got to find a way to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, get them some space, and try and make a 1st down and get some momentum going. It's been a struggle for them throughout the game, and that 3 and out on the last possession, that told you just how stalled they are on offense.
So who will step up here? We'll see. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
You know what the key to a good screen pass is, don't you?
But you're going to tell me, good blocking?
Well, good blocking eventually. But first, it's good acting. You want to let the defenders go past you, leak out to whichever side or even in the middle where you want to set up the screen, and then you do your blocking. How about the read, though, by the defensive guys? They weren't fooled at all and actually ran with the lineman to where the play was and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
Looking to throw again on second down. Mayfield. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. They get 7 there on the screen. It'll set up a third down.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid gain.
Good. 180.
59. Let's go, let's go.
Mayfield from the gun on third down. And that is incomplete. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
Here's J.K. Scott now as he's on to punt for Jacksonville. And we'll see what he can do on the return. A great return there of 22 yards.
Let's go, boys, let's go.
So here is the home side to take over on offense. With this lead and the football, things obviously looking good, but maybe, you've taught me this before, maybe this is where the defense is hoping that the offense helps them preserve that shutout that they've got going.
And it has to be in the minds of the offense that they know how rare it is to get a shutout. So take care of them, protect them, take care of the ball, move it downfield, run the clock down. You don't want your defense to have to go on the field again the rest of the game. Reward them.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at the 40. And now this pass brought in by Brown. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's our home team here in possession of the football as we come back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Looking to throw. Mendoza. Throwing left side, it's complete. A very solid gain of 27.
Let's go, let's go.
And now he's closing in on 450 yards passing.
That's an incredible number. I mean, you're talking about the best defenders in the world that you're trying to throw the ball against, and you're creating that type of a number. Fantastic job, fantastic performance, and he's going to have to ice up his arm afterwards, too.
Let's go now. 60 yards. Here I come. Shoot.
Now it looks like he'll throw here. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone could stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that is leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. Pretty clean and simple there, just 2 plays, the long pass resulting in the touchdown on play number 2. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
Be honest.
don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Yeah, use that as ammo going forward.
Exactly. Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
You're not going to want that feeling again.
no, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Mayfield. Now Mayfield lost the football. So they escape, so to speak, maintaining the football. Defensively, though, opportunity miss.
It definitely was, because that's all defenses talk about. Getting the football and either advancing it the other way or just getting possession and turning it over to their offense. That can be a little bit deflating. You're exactly right. A lost opportunity.
Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure, the backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
A good return there, 17 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. So here's the home side to take over on offense. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point.
Ready?
Mendoza now off the bootleg. Blitz coming, and down he goes. And their inaugural sack of the game coming from an unlikely source.
You mean it wasn't a linebacker? It wasn't a defensive end?
It was somebody like you.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that's a surprise for the offense. That's not what they normally get when they think about pressure.
Completes it to Benjamin. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. Getting it to him in space pays off big time. That winds up going for 31. Boy, another big play late here for an offense, Charles. It certainly has had its fair share of big plays.
Coverage has been a problem all game long, and I would say that going along with that has been confidence, because even if they had the right coverage, they've still dented them, and now it's been a real issue for them during this game.
And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. So plenty of smiles for the folks here as they head for the exits. It's a victory for their hometown guys. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one, and that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for the home team here, the perfect season remains intact as they move to 11-0 on the year. And now it's off to the airport for a date with Customs and a long flight north to the U.S. Meanwhile, for the Jaguars, it's a loss that sets them back in their playoff push as they fall to 6-5. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to Lambeau to take on the Packers. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.
I replaced